Hello everyone, my name is Shubhi Jain. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will be learning how a loop or an iterator works. That is, we will see how a loop works internally. Now there are several important parts of a loop. First is the initialization, second is control condition, third is updation, and the fourth is commands. Now the first part, that is the initialization, as the name suggests, in this part we initialize a variable who will govern the working of a loop. That is, on the basis of the value of the variable, the loop will either continue to work or the loop will stop. The second part is a control condition. As the name suggests, control condition is a condition which is the basis of when a loop will stop working. That is, till this condition is true, the loop will continue to work, and once this condition turns false, the loop will stop immediately. If, for example, over here I have a control condition I is less than equal to 10. Now, till my value in I is less than or equal to 10, this loop will work, and hence the system.out.println statement will execute. Now once the I becomes 11, the condition turns false because 11 is not less than equals to 10, and at this point the loop breaks and the print statement will not work. Now the third part of a loop is the updation. Updation is a very important part of loop. Updation takes the responsibility of changing the value of this variable, the variable which governs the working of the loop. If we do not have this part, the value of the governing variable will continue to be the same, and hence the control condition will always result true, and so the loop runs infinitely. Now, once the compiler will start executing a program, it will execute all the commands written before the for loop. Now once it comes to this part of the program, which is the loop, it will read this part, that is the initialization part. Now since we have a declaration over here, that is, we have declared a variable I, it will allocate some memory with name I and store value 1. So we have a variable named I which has value 1 in it. The second thing it checks is this. Basically, now it checks if the control condition is true or false. If the control condition is true, it will continue to work further, else it will not work further and will directly come down. That is the next step of the next command beneath the loop. Now since I is 1 and the condition turns true, the third part is that it will execute all the commands in the loop. So our first part was this, second was this, third is all the commands. Now once all the commands in the loop are executed, it goes to this part, that is the updation part. It updates the value of I by 1. Plus here means update the value by 1. And now the value of I becomes 2. Now after this part, it will again go to the condition part. It will check that after updating the value of I, whether the condition is still true or not. Now since 2 is less than equal to 10, the condition is true. It will again execute all the commands. After this, it will again go to the updation part, and so on. The values will increase, that is, I will become 1, 2, 3, then 4, and so on up till 10. Now once I becomes 10, the condition is true, the commands will run, and it will again go to the updation part. Now the value becomes 11. As soon as the value of I becomes 11, the control condition turns false, and immediately after this the control will go to the commands that are written below the loop. Now there are some points you need to know about this loop. The initialization part of the loop only works once, regardless the number of times the loop runs. Even if the loop runs for 100 or 1000 number of times, the initialization part only runs once. The control condition and the updation part runs for all the number of times the loop is running, because the updation is necessarily done, otherwise the loop will not terminate. And once there is an updation, we need to check if the updated value is still true for the condition or not. So this is a very important point, that the initialization only work once. After that, the compiler doesn't read this part of the code. It is only concerned with these three part of the code. Now coming to another important thing, it is really not necessary to write these three, the initialization, control and updation part over here itself. The area of initializing or the area of updation or the area where we check if the condition is true or not can be changed. That is, I can even write a code like this. I can write int I is equals to 10 or 1, then for Now let's see what this loop does. Now once the program is executing or the compiler is executing the program, all the statements above the loop are executed. Now this statement is executed and some memory has been allotted to an integer type variable named I, and value 1 is stored for that variable. Now it sees that there is a for loop, and we have not mentioned over here the condition or the updation part. Since it is not mentioned over here, it will enter the loop because the loop only terminates when the condition turns false. Now over here no condition is turning false, so we go immediately inside the loop. Now over here we will check the condition. It sees if I is less than equals to 10. That is, if the value inside I is less than equals to 10, the loop will break. Okay, I will make it I is greater than, because I want to run the loop for I less than equals to 10. So over here, once the value of I becomes more than 10, the loop breaks. Now break is a jump statement. In case you do not know what a jump statement is, I have made another video on the jump statements. You can go and refer to that video. Now since the value of I is less than equal to 10, it will not go inside the if condition and will not execute the break command. It will go to the I++ command, that is, the value of I is incremented by 1. Now again it will go over here. Nothing turns false, so it comes to this part again. Now the value of I was 2, so the condition is still false, the loop doesn't break, and the value is now updated to 3. This works until our value becomes 11. Now once value is 11, the condition turns true and it enters the if part. Now over here there is a break command. The break command will take the control of the program to the next line of the loop, and the loop terminates and the other part of the other lines of the command of the program are executed. So there is no necessity of having a particular format of writing a code. This is a basic or the way a for loop is usually written, but even this part is true. Now even you can write it. Now it is not necessary for like to either write all of the things within the for brackets or everything outside. You can even write I is less than equals to 10 over here, and skip the initialization and the updation part in the loop, the brackets over here. So it is completely normal. So this was how a for loop runs internally. If you have any doubts, please drop a comment down below. I will surely help you with it. And if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.